Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everyone. It has been labelled this week as a rivalry renewed. A first meeting between Stoke City and Derby County for close to 3 years. Two sides, a 35-mile drive apart along the A50, sharing a common goal to get back to where they once were. That is something which has proved a lot easier to wish for than to achieve. Both squads contain potential. Both managers possess coaching quality. The question is, will it all click together for either the Potters or the Rams in front of our eyes today? Some on Matchday have the laid-back approach, others get more stressed. We'll see how the atmosphere pans out here over the course of the next 90 minutes of football. So to the teams. 4 at the back or 3 at the back? That's been the conundrum for Narcis Pelak of late. Today it's a 4 in a team which shows 2 changes from the last league outing. Ben Wilmot is ill. Lewis Kumas drops to the bench. There's a first championship start for Tatsuki Seko after his full debut in the EFL Cup in midweek. And last season's Player of the Year, Bae Jun-ho, slots in midfield. The 4 remaining on the team sheet from the start of Tuesday's Southampton Cup defeat are Seko, Tom Cannon, Junior Chamadou and Ashley Phillips, who scored a sublime first senior goal. Paul Warne is having to deal with injury issues at right back with both Ryan Liambe and since last week Kane Wilson on the treatment table. So midfielder Joe Ward starts for the first time since April in that slot as one of 2 changes, and just ahead of him Ben Osborne returns in place of Kenzo Houtmine. Aaron Cashin is a booking away from a ban and turns 23 next Saturday. His centre-back partner Curtis Nelson, born just up the road from here in Newcastle-under-Lyme, started his career at Stoke City playing youth football with the Potters for some 7 years. So Andy, Narcis Pelak has his feet under the Stoke table, if you will. How would you rate the changes or improvements with him at the helm?
I think if you compare him to the outgoing Steven Schumacher, there have been small improvements, more passes per game, the attacking numbers looking healthier. But if you look at the key metrics, their win percentage, points per game, league possession even, things have got worse. They're just 1 point off the relegation zone. They need substance, they need points to go with this style change. A win today will certainly ease the building pressure. I think if you'd offered Paul Warne and the Derby fans a mid-table position after 12 games, they'd have taken that. They're the highest place of the promoted sides, but you can see that away form needs addressing. There's an over-reliance on results at Pride Park. They've drawn their last 2 away, and I feel that a game against a Stoke side that's finding its way offers a decent chance of that elusive first away win.
Always interesting to see who is on the team sheet as well. Changes, of course, for both sides, a couple for each team, and it's a welcome back to the action for Joe Ward.
Yeah, he's got to take this opportunity. Injuries to Kane Wilson, Ryan Liambe at right back, so he's given this opportunity, and Paul Warne spoke glowingly about him, his attitude, but he's got an opportunity now to establish himself in this Derby side.
There to help him on that side of the field, you'd imagine, is Ben Osborne, vastly experienced, of course.
Absolutely, Paul Warne talked about this, those 2 working maybe as a pair. They possibly expected Kumas to play down that side. It is Bae Jun-ho, but those 2 I think will work in tandem to try and deal with the danger on the Stoke left.
Tatsuki Seko in the side from the off for the first time in the Championship after his full debut in midweek, and they were encouraged by his performance.
Absolutely, and that's why he's in the side here. And it's good to see coaches. Narcis Pelak, of course, he's after results, he's after a style change, but he appreciates a player has come in the cup, done well, he's given him a chance in the league.
Both teams huddling before they get into the action. Derby County huddling as far away from Stoke City as is possible on the edge of their own penalty area. Now they make the long jog to start the action. As you can see, Derby County in their yellow away strip today, Stoke City in the classic red and white.
I'm interested to see how Derby start this game. First 15-20 minutes, normally away from home, you're fairly passive. The pressure will be on Stoke, again with their new coach, to try and break Derby down, so I don't expect Derby to go kind of crazy from the kickoff.
Well, the Championship is proving to be as competitive as ever this season. One manager in this division suggested to me this week, you're 1 game away from being brilliant and 1 game away from having a nightmare. I have slightly paraphrased that for a lunchtime audience, but essentially the principle stands. The hosts, of course, were in action on their travels earlier in the week with the EFL Cup journey coming to an end at Southampton. The visitors, meanwhile, have spent the week dissecting the league draw with Hull City. And 3 points for either could go a long way to seeing changes in the table in their favour. There's Mendes-Lang stealing in straight away. And a really important last-ditch challenge to prevent him from opening the scoring.
That's a great opportunity. His first touch is terrible. The press is on from Derby. They pinch the ball back, and Mendes-Lang just needs to secure this ball, keep it close, and he can shoot. It gets away from him. That means that Chamadou can get back and get the sliding challenge in.
Leading the side with the armband these days, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang is one of the more senior players at 32. It's his 100th start for the club in all competitions as well. A real potent attacking force at times.
You can see how high up the pitch Derby are playing. Marcus Harness there, we expected to play in central midfield. Ben Osborne behind him. They're squeezing Stoke. They know they want to play out from the back. And Stoke brave enough to either play through it or bypass it as they've done here.
Cashin's header. And again from Ibu Adams. He will, as ever, you'd imagine, cover an awful lot of ground in the middle of the park. Ward for Jackson. By Zetterstrom. Seko chasing the bouncing ball. Ibu Adams here as well. Push in to Forsyth. Chamadou tidies up. Incidentally, apologies if you're having any issues getting hold of the Oxford United Swansea City game on your Sky Sports Plus TV. It is available on the app at the moment. Problem which will be sorted shortly.
There's good recovery there from Joe Ward. He's actually caught him on the wrong side of Bae Jun-ho there. He's got to be really careful. So important defensively. You're in a good starting position. Do well to get back and win the ball.
To Berger. Moving it on, one of the regulars in the middle of the park, joined today by Seko, who tumbles. Ibu Adams for Mendes-Lang. Andy Moran stepping in. A player who we saw impress at Blackburn Rovers last season on loan. On loan here at Stoke City from Brighton this time round. There goes Marcus Harness. Referee Josh Smith happy to let the game flow.
Let's look at the makeup of Stoke in central midfield. Expect Berger and Seko to maybe sit a little bit deeper, and that frees up Andrew Moran to step forward, get close to Tom Cannon. And Stoke have comfortable possession.
Chamadou back to Ashley Phillips. He did score a super goal the other night. Just instinctive finish with the back heel in mid-air. And the offside flag will stop Stoke City's attack here.
I mentioned the central midfielders, Berger and Seko for Stoke, because they offer some defensive insurance. We will see Enda Stevens, Junior Chamadou, the fullbacks for Stoke, playing high and wide, looking to stretch that Derby defence. That means that Bae Jun-ho, Million Manhoef might just drift into more central areas, get into pockets of space.
Ball at the feet of Jakob Zetterstrom, one of two Swedish goalkeepers on the field today. And fight it out for the gloves with their national side.
How about that for a pass? Unbelievable.
Mendes-Lang on the end of it, trying to skip away from Chamadou, who sends him crashing to the ground.
Well, already this season, Zetterstrom has shown what a good goalkeeper he is, and the players applauding this pass. Goalkeepers are charged with, being good with the ball at their feet. How about this for a crossfield pass? Absolutely pings it. Sees that Chamadou has tucked in field. The space is there for Mendes-Lang, and it's inch perfect for the winger. Once he drives in field, they've got Stoke back pedalling. Challenges come flying in. It's an obvious free kick.
Chamadou incensed that it was given against him.
I think if you slide in like that, get off your feet, make any type of contact on Mendes-Lang, the free kick's going to be given. Yes, he makes the most of it, but it is a foul.
So Ward and Osborne poised to have a go from here. It is Ward, and to be beaten away by Victor Johansson, who is the busiest goalkeeper in the Championship this season in terms of saves made.
Well, Joe Ward is hoping the goalkeeper steps behind his wall, so he's really hoping the keeper moves rather than backing himself and picking out the top corner. He just smashes it at the goalkeeper, but he does the right thing, Johansson. Lets the wall do its job and he maintains his position.
Johansson out again. Someone well known to Derby manager Paul Warne from his Rotherham days. That's offside. A lovely finish. Absolutely smashed that into the top of the net, Jerry Yates, but he came back from where he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, they squeezed out Stoke as the ball went. They tried to get forward, the back line squeeze up. That's why when it's played forward, the tackle is a good one. Once it's nudged forward, he is in an offside position. Well spotted. I mentioned there, Johansson, Zetterstrom, two top quality goalkeepers for this division.
Derby County play Coventry City in the week, where they'll face another Swedish goalkeeper in Verdovin. Here's Harness. Jin Ho whips it off him. Cannon was just waiting to try and gallop through on goal, and the angle never favoured him, mainly due to the work from Curtis Nelson.
That's good defending, that. Doesn't get a touch on the ball, but he just forces Cannon wide, narrows the angle, gets close to him as well. And that forward ball is played, he is onside. I think it's Cashin who's playing him onside, but Nelson does ever so well just to force him wider and wider. He's off balance as well, but that's down to the defender. Putting the pressure on, nudging him, not fouling him, but staying really close. There's no room at all for Cannon to work with.
Since Curtis Nelson signed for Derby County, there have been 59 league games, if you include today. And he has started all 59.
It's a really good combination though. Nelson and Cashin, two heart and soul defenders, but both can play with the ball at their feet.
Forward from Zetterstrom. Almost made it through to Jerry Yates, who's been flagged again. Here's Johansson for Ben Gibson, working under Narcis Pelak here, and indeed him of course from Carrow Road. Here's Cannon. Zetterstrom came out, penalty kick. Well, just 8 minutes on the board, and Stoke City have an opportunity to edge themselves ahead.
Well, just as I was bigging the goalkeeper up, I just wondered, did he really need to come and deal with this? He feels that he did, but you've got to stay away. If you're not going to get there, and it never looks like he's going to get there first, the goalkeeper. It's a tight call. I think it's the right one to allow play to go on. But the goalkeeper, he's never going to reach the ball first, is he? So I think maybe you can close down the attacker there and try and force him wide rather than try and get to the ball. He does catch him on the ankle. Once he feels that Cannon, he goes down. It is a penalty.
And it will be Tom Cannon who assumes the responsibility and makes no mistake. Stoke City's struggles have been clear to see of late, but that will make everyone in red and white feel a whole lot better.
Well, it's the perfect penalty, powerful, precise. Keeper goes the right way, but he's nowhere near it. When goalkeepers, defenders make mistakes, as Zetterstrom did, you've got to capitalise. It's a brilliant penalty, just the pace of it, the accuracy, whipped away from the goalkeeper. He's a giant goalkeeper, he's still never getting there, but again, it's his mistake. Coming for that ball, stay on your feet, don't go to ground and try and win it. It's a well-weighted pass. The keeper's got to assess the situation, stay away, doesn't need to go diving in there. He's never going to get to the ball. If he catches the man, big trouble. Well, the referee does well just to actually get those Derby players out of his line of sight so he can see the contact, and there was.
Well, Tom Cannon has taken 7 penalties in his career, if you count under-18s Premier League penalties. And one in the FA Youth Cup as well. He scored the loss at his second go from the spot in the Championship, finding the back of the net as he did in that 6-1 victory over Portsmouth, in which he scored 4 times.
He's a striker that plays right on the shoulder, as he did for the goal, timed the forward run correctly, did it slightly earlier in the game as well. up against Curtis Nelson, didn't get in on that occasion, but when you play right on the shoulder, if you time your runs correctly, you're going to cause defensive problems.
Derby County have been here before, conceding first, of course, 6 times before today. They conceded the first goal in games, and they haven't won. So they'll have to buck that trend if they are to turn this game on its head. The last time they won after conceding first in the Championship was April of 2022. Albeit a fair bit has happened to them in League One since then, of course.
Derby have to clear their heads after that. It's an individual error. Defensively, they were short in numbers, they were torn apart, but the goalkeeper again didn't need to dive in there, I felt. So they've got to clear their heads, and Stoke, they've got to keep the pedal to the metal. They've got to go for that second goal, don't just try and keep the ball 1-0 up, chase that second.
Forsyth header forwards, just missed out Osborne. Ranhoff takes it on. Trying to get his way past Debu Adams. Nicely won back by Moran. Seko to Moran again. And Harness got back in the nick of time.
Two really sloppy pieces of play there from Craig Forsyth. Vastly experienced, but caught out badly on 2 occasions.
A real setback early on this for the Derby County cause. Struggling away from home, as indeed they are. They've gained 15 points this season, Derby County, but 13 of those have come at home. Just 2 draws on their travels.
Yeah, speaking to the Derby coaching staff, they feel the performances have certainly been there. The results as yet haven't come.
Alterberger, and eventually back to Gibson. I mentioned no Ben Wilmot today through illness. He's someone who's played a fair bit of football for Stoke City at the start of this season. A regular in the starting lineup in the Championship. Starting all 12 games.
Yeah, Derby started the game well. We just feel now that Stoke certainly have a foothold in the game. The opening goal certainly helps. That settles you down as well, but they look fairly comfortable. It's probably what we expected in terms of the amount of possession that Stoke are enjoying. It's whether you can turn that possession into opportunities. Can you get into the Derby penalty area? Can you create chances? And they're starting to do that.
Gibson. Moran has made the run. He's taken it down really well. The door was closed firmly by Osborne, who scampered back.
It's the type of position we expect him to be in, release from central midfield to get up alongside Tom Cannon at times. There's a few balls now over the top of that Derby defence that have been profitable.
Popped up with 4 goals and 9 assists last season on loan at Blackburn Rovers.
I think he has that versatility, can play a variety of positions. It's perfect for a coach.
Everyone charged in for that corner and it missed everybody. Well, that will be a huge early boost. That penalty for Narcis Pelak. The 6-1 thumping of Portsmouth here at the start of last month has been a real outlier in terms of Stoke City's results. They have struggled for victories and points.
Yeah, I think he'd be really pleased, of course, with the opening goal, but the possession, they're dominating the ball, they're forcing Derby to sit deep. What are you thinking for Paul Warne to do? Wouldn't have been surprised maybe by the start to the game.
Paul Warne recently passed the 2 years in charge marker, which many Championship or League One bosses don't get close to these days. He's, of course, tasted promotion with Derby County. Indeed, one promotion in all 4 full seasons he's managed in League One.
Yeah, Mark Robbins has been in charge of Coventry, what, for 7 years or more? But yeah, 2 years is a long time in Championship management, which is crazy.
Here's Manhoef with Seko close to him. Berger looking to join in as well. Chamadou. Berger slotting it through neatly. Stoke City could be in business here. Moran! Well, I think he and most around the stadium were expecting to celebrate a second.
That's a brilliant move, a little give and go. Some ball watching, static defending, that's why they get in behind, but it's such a clever pull back. Rather than whip it into the 6-yard box where there's defenders, Stevens just pulls it back. Experienced player, great cross. Just doesn't wrap his instep around it. Arriving, sees the ball all the way, should be, at the very least, hitting the target with that. It's a golden chance to make it 2.
More danger to the fans in the stands than the goalkeeper in the end, but it was a move of potential. Ender Stevens galloping forward down the left-hand side there. Back in the side after Eric Bokar was the left wing-back against Southampton in the week. And Stoke City played with a 5, 3 centre-halves and the wing-backs.
I think those games when they did play a 5 against Sheffield United and Southampton more to do with the opposition rather than actually the way that Pelak wants to move forward with the team.
Chamadou. And chased by Jerry Yates, who, apart from that wonderful strike, which was not allowed as a goal, the whistle had already gone for offside. Hasn't really seen too much of the ball.
We're closing in on, 10 minutes since Stoke scored, and they've been comfortable. They've managed the game well. They've taken the lead, but then they've taken the ball off Derby as well, so they're controlling the tempo. Derby can't really build any momentum because they haven't had the ball.
Chamadou recovering to find Seko.
This really underlines the point I was making in terms of take the lead, but take the ball, dominate it. Don't give your opponents a chance to get back into the game quickly.
Manhoef. Important header away by Ward. Chamadou goes down. Seko and Berger keep it moving. Manhoef just trying to slot it through there for Moran, who's left and right and central.
Yeah, at times Moran will look for the ball into his feet, at times he'll run beyond that Derby back line, so he's mixing up his attacking game and he's arriving on the scene late, so that's difficult for defenders to appreciate, be aware of.
That Stoke City penalty is the first penalty awarded in a Derby County game this season. The only other side who haven't yet seen a penalty in their games in the Championship are West Bromwich Albion, who of course played last night. 3-1 all with Luton Town to get the EFL weekend underway.
Is that 5 draws in a row for West Brom?
Indeed. And 7 without a win now.
It just shows how tough the Championship is, because West Brom were flying up to that point, but it's very difficult to win games at this level. The competition is so great.
If you can string a few results together, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Sunderland 3 wins in a row, sit top at the start of this weekend, which is a great example. There are a few teams near the bottom, around about where Stoke City are, where they, or indeed the Potters themselves, will think if you can string back-to-back wins together, it makes a huge difference.
Especially in this league this season when it's so congested. As you say, 2-3 wins, you can go from battling relegation to the edge of the playoffs. I'm not sure what's happened to Narcis's finger there, but it looks a nasty injury he's got.
Forward it goes towards Mendes Lang. Harness. Seko more up than away. Adrian Ho just leave it up for the ball. And Ben Osborne. Both teams wanted the throw. It was initially given Derby County's way, but Josh Smith stepped in and said no. Other way, please.
See Andy Stevens saying to the assistant there, "Hey, it's all right, but don't do it again." They give the ball straight back to Derby.
Say, that was
take a throw. It's a waste of time.
All completely irrelevant in the end. There we are. There you go. Football can make you cry, but it can make you laugh sometimes as well. A bit like working with you.
You've obviously seen me play as well. Although it was that long ago, you surely were far too young.
Ibu Adams took the full force of that one from Adrian Ho, who immediately makes amends.
Well, Derby just starting to provide a bit of an attacking threat. One player they really need to get more involved in the game is Jerry Yates. He's been starved of possession because his team have been starved of the ball. If they get the ball back, have more of it, he'll keep making runs, he'll keep offering himself up for those forward passes. Can he get on the ball a little bit more?
And here, your point is underlined.
It's like I know what I'm talking about. Incredible.
Not go too far. Here's Chamadou trying to stop Forsyth from getting to the ball. The 500th appearance of his British club career today, Craig Forsyth. Up against Junior Chamadou, at just 20 years of age. He was the League 2 Young Player of the Year a couple of seasons back. Now just took his eye off it, but he was offside in any case. Well, just a reminder, there are a couple of games ongoing, kicked off at the same time as this one. Ewood Park, Blackburn are 1 behind to Sheffield United. Harrison Burrows with the goal in that game. It is goalless between Oxford United and Swansea City, a game which is available now on Sky Sports Plus. Both games are as part of your Sky Sports subscription. The Gremlins have been dealt with in Oxford United's draw at the moment with Swansea City, so you can enjoy either of those two. Plenty of championship action to come, of course, over the rest of the day and the weekend. Swept away by Johansson. Forsyth with the header, and Gibson likewise. All the way back to Zetterstrom. Ward. Seko had it and then lost it and then took out Ibu Adams. It takes a fair few hits in the midfield area in general.
He covers so much ground and he comes into contact with so many opposition players. It's a poor initial first touch. It's an unnecessary challenge, that, really, going through someone's heel, Achilles like that. You can pick up a serious injury. He's lucky to escape there because it was nasty, unnecessary.
No yellow card, just a telling off. One of Stoke City's summer signings.
It looks nothing, but I tell you, it can be really painful. I've had those injuries where people do stamp on your heel, your Achilles. Horrible.
This time it is a Derby County throw. Giannis. For Ward. Towards Cashin. Back as far as Adams. He might be tempted to go all the way back, indeed he does. Strong's ball, controlled nicely by Chamadou for Mendes-Lang, who couldn't then give it enough bend and width towards Jerry Yates.
Yeah, it's such a waste. He will provide the natural width down the left-hand side. Down the right, it's more a fullback's job in Joe Ward, but down the left, it's Mendes-Lang. He wants to get isolated against Chamadou. He does on this occasion. It's neither a shot nor a cross, really. It's nothing. Yeah, try and pick out a strike. You need better quality from a dangerous position like that.
Last season he scored 9 goals in League One. He assisted another 16, if you like. He was part of the EFL League One Team of the Year. Looking to step up and produce that same quality in the Championship as Jerry Yates' frustration comes to the fore.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. As we showed earlier, struggling to get involved in the game, get touches of the ball, and just lose a little bit on a centre-half here. But I think a word is about right from the referee. It's just pure frustration. It's a silly challenge because the ball's long gone. Never going to get away with that. He must know that. The referee's going to come over and have a word with him.
A few Stoke City players rushing to the defence of their teenage centre-half.
I think he looks big enough, Ash Phillips, to look after himself, doesn't he?
Certainly. Scored that terrific goal the other night and immediately ran back towards halfway and said, come on, let's get on with it. No celebration for what will possibly turn out to be the best goal he ever scores. Caden Jackson. Ward for Yates, met by Gibson, and Johansson collects.
And once again, it's a threatening position, just a lack of quality there from Joe Ward. Ball's rolled back to him, nice pace on it. Got to deliver a better ball in. Jerry Yates did as much as he could do, but it wasn't good enough, the cross. In a game like this, where you're being starved with the ball for long periods, you get into advanced areas like that, you've really got to make it count.
Wouter Berger. Stevens. Manhoff back to Phillips. Back to Zetterstrom.
Yeah, Stoke City just not quite as assured in possession at this point. It's been a decent 10 minutes or so for Derby.
Adams. All the way through. Osborne, back to Forsyth. Phillips wins out against Mendes-Lang. Cashin finds Ward. Jackson. Derby County having to go backwards to go forwards. Osborne sold a little short and Chamadou raced in to make it his.
That's a gift for a defender, that a ball that's slowly rolled your way with an opponent coming towards it. You always know you're going to win it. You can play it off him as well. ideal for him.
Chamadou away from Osborne. Tempting Moran onto the ball. And Chamadou hit it, and it may well have been blocked by his own man, Tom Cannon.
Yeah, it's really good work from Moran, not just the initial run, but the intelligence to pull the ball back into the path of his teammate. Chamadou lays it off, continues the run. This is such a clever pass from Moran. He's really crowded out, and you're right, he actually smashes it against Cannon, but once again, Moran causing problems with those runs beyond the Derby backline.
We've passed the half-hour mark. It is Stoke City's game as it stands, but it is a match firmly in the balance, with an awful lot going on in the middle of the park and not so many clear-cut chances being created. If Stoke City were to win today, they would go level on points with Derby County, albeit with, as it stands, a slightly inferior goal difference. Agent Ho. 3 to look for in the middle. Cannon was the obvious target. Marshalled well by Cashin. Jackson forward to an offside Jerry Yates.
Again, Jerry Yates up against the two centre-halves. He's trying to play right on the shoulders, just gone slightly too early. I think he's saying to his teammates, play the ball earlier. When I'm onside, I've got a chance of getting in behind them, because they are short of defensive numbers.
Words to that effect, I think. To Berger. Phillips. Chamadou. Forward for Moran. Seko. Berger told to shoot by the locals. Andy Stevens couldn't quite pick anyone else out in stripes. Managed to lose it and win it back though. Seko, he might take it on. Worth a hit, although it was a fair way out.
It was good reaction from Mendes Stevens, actually. He jabbed at a crossing that he didn't need to play, gave it away, but then worked hard to get the ball back. Just looking at the penalty award again. I just think Derby defensively, Paul Warner will be so disappointed. So Cashin step in, so he stepped into midfield, so there's the space that he's kind of left. It is a tight call in terms of offside. Got to give the striker the benefit of the doubt, unless it's clear and obvious. It wasn't. I think Zetterstrom, can he just not just jockey the striker here? Because he's wide of the target. Just stay on your feet, don't go to ground unless you're absolutely sure you can win it. He doesn't, he fouls Cannon. Cannon absolutely buries it. Wonderful penalty. Pace on it, the accuracy, there's no saving that.
It's the kind of offside call you'd need to get a ruler out and draw some lines on your screen. A bit of reaction if you did that up here with the technicians behind us.
I think with Tom Cannon, just to exploit that space, Cashin stepping into midfield, there's a hole there. When the centre-halves is out of the game, that's the area that Cannon exploits.
Stoke City eager to get on with the corner, possibly to their detriment in the end. But they have it here with Berger and Phillips. Here's Gibson. Stevens. Not quite for Cannon. Agent Ho, just a little short for Stevens. Towards Jerry Yates. Phillips just judged it just right.
I think it's difficult when you concede a goal away from home to get a grip of the game, to react to going behind. I think Derby have found it difficult. to get on the ball, to really pass it around and cause Stoke real problems.
Adams. Osborne screaming for it in a bit of space. The ball's taking him a little wide. Cannon will retrieve and help launch a counter. Moran sent sprawling, was he? Josh Smith says the ball was taken.
There's an opportunity there for Derby, but the pass to Osborne was such a poor one. He had to readjust and loft the ball into the box. If you play that sharply out in front of him, he steps onto it, he whips it across the 6-yard box. It's a different defensive problem than Stoke have to deal with. So again, decent position for Derby. Haven't made the most of it.
Berger. Moran's after this.
There's good tracking by Edward Adams there. I think there is a little bit of contact, but it's not a foul.
Mendes-Lang neatly for Osborne, but couldn't quite take it with him. A clash between two top half of the table sides tomorrow to bring you from 2:30. Millwall up against Burnley. Burnley, of course, have only lost once in the league this season. That's to the side who are currently above them, Sunderland. Millwall coming to this with 2 wins in the last 2 games, unbeaten in 4. So a really interesting clash to take in during your Sunday afternoon. Ho. Cannon ahead of him, and Malhoff as well. Couldn't quite find the angle he wanted with the pass. Given away by Forsyth. Jackson has to catch it or it'll be a corner.
Well, initially Forsyth goes well round on the cover, reads the forward pass, but then just gives it away unnecessarily cheaply. It just keeps Stoke on the front foot. The fullbacks have to at times get round on the cover. He sees the run of Manhoff, he tracks it, picks off the forward ball. But then he just kind of labours in possession, and that's such a poor pass. Got to be better than that at the back, Derby.
Creeping towards half-time now. Initial suspects forward for this Stoke City corner. She's whipped over and off the head of Joe Ward.
Yeah, it's great delivery, it's hard to defend. That's why it comes off a defender for another corner, because it's flat, it's pacey. Defenders have to try and deal with it, but you can't really control the defensive header because the pace is on the ball. That's why it just comes off his head and out for another corner.
Jostling for position in the middle, and Zetterstrom emerges with the ball despite being manhandled. Almost the perfect throw as well for Mendes-Lang, but well spotted by Ho. Seko. Berger for Moran, and back now for Phillips. Gibson. Seko, Berger. Room for him to drive forward. Moran, Manhoff, trying to strike it through Forsyth.
That's good defensive positioning there for Forsyth. He knows that Anhoff wants to get onto that strong left foot, and he just blocks his path.
Ward. Yates hovering in the middle. Harness joining him now. This is Jackson. And Ward towards Yates. He went down and stayed down.
It's a better ball in from Joe Ward. It needs proper defending.
Cash in. Forsyth. Mendez-Laing showing it to Chamadou, then whipping it away and winning a corner.
That's good work from Mendez-Laing. He just shows the defender the ball and then takes it away from him. This is an area where Derby should cause Stoke problems. Set pieces have been a huge strength of theirs this season. 60% of their goals have come from set plays. Can they make another one count?
Also scored the most goals from corners in the Championship this season. It's something that's pleased Paul Warne with some of the work that's been put in on these, although he's very quick to say they're not a slave to set-piece training. In from Ward. And seen off in the end rather comfortably by Stoke. And a foul by Mendez-Laing.
It's a really important near post head. I think it's Tom Cannon who actually clears it, because it's a whip ball in. If that goes over his head, I think Stoke have a major problem. I see it so often. Centre halves coming back, protecting the near post. That header from Cannon is a really important one. Just clears the danger. I think Mendez-Laing actually goes diving in there. That's why the free kick is given.
Last couple of minutes of the half. I doubt there'll be an awful lot added on because we haven't had too many stoppages.
I think Derby have had a couple of spells in the half where they've been the dominant team, but overall Stoke have looked fairly comfortable. They've managed to keep Derby outside their penalty area.
Followed by Harness. Gibson suddenly had two charging towards him. Stephen was with some chasing to do of his own. Jackson back to Ward. Harness. All the way back. And offside is the verdict against Cashin. And Paul Warne not best pleased with his side for all of that.
Once again, it's a good defensive line. The ball goes over the halfway line. Stoke en masse squeeze up. They stay together. They're looking to catch Derby offside. Derby don't realise that. You see them all sprinting up pretty much as one. There's what, 4 or 5 Derby players. As soon as that ball is played back, they're in an offside position because of Stoke squeezing up the pitch when the ball goes into the opponent's half. Oh, it's not been a great half for Paul Warne and Derby, but they're still in the game. It's still only 1-0.
Usually the side who are behind at the break, if indeed they prove to be so. We have a minimum of 1 added minute. Come out at the start of the second half with a different mindset, with increased purpose. And Stoke City will I'm sure, be aware of that possibility and that likelihood. Mendes-Lang. Final roll of the dice in this first half, maybe. Held by Phillips. Won't catch that, and Johansson happy to let it bounce away.
Again, a lack of quality, some waste. They're trying to force the issue. Just keep the ball moving. 2-3 more passes, just move Stoke around, trying to force the issue with that killer ball over the top. It's never going to work out.
And that is half-time. And at the break, it is Stoke City's game. Narcis Pelak will be delighted with how the game is developing. His side lead through Tom Cannon, who struck home from the penalty spot, having been felled by Jakob Zetterstrom in the Derby County goal. A half of few chances, but Stoke City have edged ahead. They lead by 1-0 at the break. You're far too kind, David. Thank you very much indeed.
He's easily pleased, that lad, isn't he?
Well, Stoke City will start us in this second period. That double change for Derby County catches the eye at the break. We'll see how that affects things. Indeed, the Rams have drawn each of their last 3 games by the scoreline of 1-1. They previously did that in October 2020 in the Championship under Philippe Cocu. The last time they drew 4 consecutive league games by 1-1, if you like, 1-1, was in Division 2 in 1982 under John Newman. And they will have their eyes on at least getting to that in this second half, if not overtaking Stoke City and leaving with the points.
Yeah, I think with the change, obviously the extra centre-half, it looks as if Caden Jackson, Callum Eldon are going to work as wing-backs. Maybe at times when they don't have the ball, it will be in essence a back 4, but when they step up the pitch, they'll try and get Elder and Jackson into those advanced wide positions.
Ibu Adams moving it on. First chance for Callum Elder to stretch his legs on that side. Covered an awful lot of ground, just couldn't find anyone in the middle.
There's the story of the first half as well. Dangerous attacking positions for Derby, just a lack of quality. So much time and space. Got a good left foot. He should be delivering a better ball than this. Massively overhit.
So he has made the changes. Let's see if they change the situation. Certainly need to get a whole lot more out of their attacking players in the second half compared to the first. Shimadu emerges with the ball back to Johansson. Pumped forward towards Cannon. Jun Ho, it just squirmed away from him. Forward by Adams for Osborne.
But also that this switch in formation from Paul Ward just enables Mendes-Lang, arguably the most dangerous attacker they've got, to stay high and wide up the pitch.
This was late, and that's going to be the first yellow card. Josh Smith has given each team a little bit of leeway in the first half, but made the message quite clear that the next person would be in trouble.
Yeah, he's giving both teams a chance, but again, it's late, it's unnecessary. He knows exactly what he's doing, Harness, because the ball is long gone. He's rightly booked.
Second of the season for Marcus Harness. There is only one player involved today who has to be really careful in terms of an impending ban, and that is Aaron Cashin on 4 yellow cards. If he's booked today, he'd miss the trip to Coventry on Wednesday evening. Right on cue, here he is.
As a player, of course, they don't want to lose, but they do have strength and depth in that position with Nat Phillips, who's come on in this game. There's Sonny Bradley as well, so not short of centre-halves, Paul Warne.
The guys in the studio were talking about Aaron Cashin's ball-playing ability before the game. A player who used to play in his youth days in a central midfield position as well as centre-back. does love a diagonal switch at times as well.
And the further back you go in terms of where you play, the game gets so much easier. I used to play as a left winger when I was a kid. I moved to left back and the game was totally different, far easier.
It's a lot easier from up here as well, isn't it? Cannon's touch. Moran for Berger. And now Stevens. Seko. Rather ran into Osborne. Mendes Lang took over until Ender Stevens stepped in and was penalised. Phillips. All the way back to Zetterstrom. Elder into the feet of Jerry Yates. Harness takes it on. Caden Jackson now. That's a really dangerous ball. And Johansson had to pour it away from anyone in yellow.
A bit of good fortune for the goalkeeper. He has to deal with it. It's a brilliant ball in between the keeper and the back line. Well, that hand on the ball, it could have dropped anywhere. It could have dropped to a Derby striker. But luckily for Stoke, they're able to clear it.
Message from the touchline there, I think, from a Derby County point of view, is more of that, please, from Caden Jackson. Jerry Yates now. Mendes Lang towards Harness, and Jackson was there, hunting the ball, but colliding with Johansson.
Yeah, it's good positioning for the goalkeeper. It's difficult when you've got a bouncing ball, but he keeps his eyes on it. This is better width and quality. That's a really good ball in. The keeper can't collect it, has to try and get something on it because his defenders can't. It's the way that it drops really kindly for Stoke. They can clear their lines. It doesn't drop to a Derby attacker to tap in, but better from Derby. Start of the second half, they're changing formation, they're getting more players high up the pitch, causing Stoke problems. And that really underlines it, again, that changing shape. You're pushing wing-backs forward, keep Mendes lying high up the pitch. At times he can play out wide, at times he can drift into a more central area. You just have to keep hold of the ball, keep getting up the pitch and providing that quality.
Here's Johansson. Cannon. Berger chased by Hugo Adams, by Nelson. They tried to tuck in and win it back. Beijing Ho. Almost getting in, but Nelson was wise to the threat.
Yeah, and that Phillips tries to deal with it. Was actually facing his own goal, so his touch actually kept Stoke in possession high up the pitch.
Stevens almost finding Manhoff, and then a foul which relieves the pressure on Derby County. We're going to see a change shortly for Stoke City. Lewis Kumas is getting himself prepared.
I was really surprised Lewis Kumas didn't start the game, actually, but we might see the versatility of Andrew Moore, and he might drop back into a more defensive central midfield position to allow Kumas to carry the threat going forward.
Gibson's header. Against Elder, who was grappling somewhat. Johansson towards Seko. Did he have his legs whipped away? He did. Nat Phillips. Only been on the field for 8 minutes or so. Into the book.
Phillips was never going to get there. I just wonder whether the referee could have just delayed the blowing of the whistle, because there's a clever ball around the corner. Yes, it is a foul, but Stoke still have the ball, they're on the halfway line, and there's a defender out of the game, so could he have let it maybe go? It's difficult at times you go to your whistle because it is a foul and it is a booking. I think Stoke will be disappointed they weren't allowed to play on.
Cannon on the chase here. Not the legs to get there ahead of Nelson. Waiting for support. Beijing Ho in the middle. Cannon joining him now. Samadou. And again from Seko. Read by Adams. Jerry Yates initially did really well to keep it in. And indeed has actually won the throw, says Josh Smith. There's going to be a pause here while the change is made, and it's going to be Lewis Kumas or Tatsuki Seko once they organise whose throw-in it is. Well, the board brings some clarity with it. 11 for 12.
See the referee there just urging Seko to go off on the near side. He was looking to walk right across the pitch towards the dugouts, take maybe a minute or so to get off. The referee said, I'm not having that, you're going off on the closest touch line.
And on comes Lewis Kumas, who's been a really exciting addition to this Stoke City squad. Signed on a season-long loan from Liverpool, of course, by Steven Schumacher.
And it is more, and he's just dropped him a bit deeper alongside Berger just to control that central midfield area. Kumas is a really dangerous player. If you can get him in forward, get the ball at his feet, he can win the game for you.
Another one of those players as well who can play out wide, can play in the hole, behind the striker. Versatility throughout the squad here. It's about making it all work. Here they go with Manu. Beijing Ho, can he poke it on to Cannon? He can, and Cannon! Stopped brilliantly by Zetterstrom. He had to be a very effective last line of defence there.
Well, it's a good recovery from Kasha, because he's the one that really should clear this out. Take the ball, take the man. Don't allow Stoke to break beyond you. They do, but look at his reaction. He gets back onto the goal line. Tom Cannon just takes a touch or two. It's a brilliant save, but there's Cashin back round on the cover. So he made that mistake, but he gets his head down, sprints back into a defensive position, and it's a good job he's there, round on the cover. Once the save is made, if he's not there, it's a tap-in.
And it would have been a tap-in for the man who's just arrived on the scene, Lewis Kumas. That corner will go all the way out. And not to referee Josh Smith as well for the advantage there. It would have been easy to give the free kick.
There's a lot going on. There's a foul here as Phillips goes flying in. Phillips has been booked as well, so again you look at that challenge in isolation and you'd say, is that not another yellow?
He'll be a referee. I've just given him credit and then you've whipped it away. Point though, and Nat Phillips getting a yellow card so early on, having come on, is toppling off that tightrope very nearly.
Struggling to get to the pace of the game. At times he's looked slightly laboured running with the ball. He's got to quicken up.
Big difference between doing a goal up and playing against 10 or playing against 11. Point that I think he's just made to fourth official Tom Parsons. Nelson on to Mendes-Lam, collected by Harness, well stopped by Gibson. Now it's Stevens, but an easy one for Cashin to deal with. Osborne and Kumas toe-to-toe. Elder to Yates and back again. And towards Jackson, it had to be dealt with. And Ash Phillips saw it behind. We've talked so much about the threat that Derby County pose from set-piece situations. The first part of the equation is the delivery. And that is seen off once again by Tom Cannon, who's done a really smart defensive job. Just has the ball whipped away from under his nose by Zetterstrom.
That does the job for the team in closing down the goalkeeper. He forced the keeper to kick it far longer than he really wanted to. So they're closing him down. Stoke do get the ball back eventually.
All of a sudden there's a lot of yellow moving around on the touchline. Derby County looking at a potential triple change, or at least 3 players getting set for action. Nicely done. Taken off his toes by Jerry Yates, who's fired up but then loses it. For now, I think it'll just be a double Derby change, which includes Kenzo Houtmine. Elder's ball in. Oh, and Jackson's there! Didn't quite get everything on it he wanted to, which allowed Johansson to make the save.
It's a major opportunity. It's in behind the defensive line. That's why he gets the ball first, but just it wasn't a clean contact, simple as that.
Adrian Ho leads the charge for Stoke City as there's a man apiece down in the other half. Ibu Adams and Lewis Kumas on the ground here. Some concern particularly for Adams, who went down pretty hard and stayed there.
It's a major problem for defences when a team goes out wide and the ball gets cut back. So you've got your defensive line pretty much on the edge of the 6-yard box. They're all moving back towards their own goal. So any ball in behind them is a problem. Caden Jackson appreciates that. It's a slightly bouncing ball. It's difficult maybe to get a clean contact on. And he just scuffs it. It's savable. It's still a good save from Johansson, but a really clean, crisp strike there. And it's 1-1. There's a nasty collision there. Looked like knee on knee, didn't it? Really painful.
Changes are coming here for Derby County. I mentioned Kenzo Houtmine is one of those coming on. DeJean Brown, though, is the other. A player who scored from the bench in the draw with Hull City last time out, his first senior goal.
Yeah, Paul Warner's doing absolutely everything to try and retrieve this situation, changing personnel, formation at half-time, now a change in personnel. He's doing everything he can to move, push and pull Stoke around to create that one opportunity to get back in the game.
While Kumas is down, Narcis Pelach is holding court with the rest of the outfielders, geeing them up and getting them ready for the final half an hour or so.
Well, they might be 1-0 up Stoke, but they're not in control of the game. They need to shut Derby down, but the changes in formation and personnel, it keeps Stoke guessing, Pelach guessing, got to keep working out how to deal with them.
Jerry Yates is removed from the action. DeJean Brown, his replacement. And Marcus Harness makes way for Kenzo Houtmine. So, the good news is Ibu Adams is up and about again. Lewis Kumas seems to have been repaired and is shortly going to rejoin. Ball will start with Curtis Nelson at the back for Derby County. Adams looked to have come worse off in that challenge, but he never actually received any treatment, so he's on the field and carries on, whereas Kumas has to wait. Now he rejoins. Cannon just having to shuffle back to defend in his absence. Elder. He's already put a few crosses in of note. And towards Brown. But an easy claim for Johansson.
Well, the idea is right with the cross, but it's just too much flight on it. The positive goalkeeping for Johansson.
Gibson searching for Kumas. Easy one for Cashin to take in his stride, then Derby give it back. They've had a fair few spells in this game where possession has been with one side and then the other. Stoke City looking to make it count here with Kumas, helped out by Stevens. Where's it going to end up? Well, so nearly in the back of the net. Zetterstrom with a flying save just when Stoke City thought they were in business.
It's a brilliant attack, sensational goalkeeping. Kumas does just the right thing here. Could have been selfish and tried to beat all those Derby defenders himself. He's waiting for Stevens. Stevens' cross is a beauty, digs it out, but the goalkeeper, I think the important thing here, yes, he's big, but he's moving his feet across the goal line, getting back into a position to make the save. It's a brilliant stop.
Zetterstrom's after this one and gathers it in really well. And off go Derby County with Mendes-Lang. Osborne sprinting on. Jackson waiting for it in the middle. Brown joining him now. Not quite from Mendes-Lang, but they will get a throw in.
I just wonder how important that save from Zetterstrom could prove to be if Derby get an equaliser.
Had it found the back of the net, it would have been Bejan Ho's first goal for Stoke City since March.
Doesn't do much wrong, I suppose. He has his time again. Does he head the ball down? He's in a position to be saved. It's the goalkeeper's movement and his reach that enables him to keep it out.
Nelson. Phillips now. That's it again from Jackson. Over the head of Brown. Oh, and Gibson looking for Johansson. It's in! What a disaster for Stoke City! A defensive mess gifts Derby parity.
Well, it's a defensive disaster. Is it just a lack of communication between the centre-half and the goalkeeper? But clearly, it's obvious that Ben Gibson feels his goalkeeper has stayed on his line. He knows the centre-half is going to deal with it, head it back to him. And the keeper has other ideas. Is there no shout to the centre-half about what to do? It's absolutely awful. I just wonder whether the goalkeeper could have got his wrist around that, actually kept it out, but he was, you know, it's difficult for him to claw it out. But it's just a lack of communication. It's a mess. It's a gift. Exactly what Derby wanted. They were struggling to create good chances, but Stoke have completely shot themselves in the foot here.
Well, Ben Gibson hasn't scored for Stoke City. He's well and truly scored against them there. And now Derby County have the wind in their sails. Goals can change games, and you just wonder what happens next.
I just mentioned about Zetterstrom making that save from Bejan Ho, kept it at 1-0. They've been gifted an equaliser now.
That, of course, brings the scoreline back to 1-1, if you like, Derby County's default setting at the moment.
Well, as the cross comes in here from Enda Stevens, the keeper's naturally at his near post, but he moves his feet. You see across his line a couple of steps, that's all it takes. It puts him in a position to make the flying save. That keeps it at 1-0. I did say there's maybe an opportunity. I expected Derby to create a chance, but Stoke gifted him the equaliser. But that save from Zetterstrom, all important.
1 minute and 50 seconds in between the save and the defensive horror show.
99 times out of 100, Ben Gibson just nods that back to his goalkeeper. And it's not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem, but just a lack of communication. No clear shout. That's maybe what the problem was, but I just wonder whether he needed to head it back so firmly. Again, I'm looking at reasons behind it. It was just a lack of communication between the two.
Well, Ben Gibson's first words, I think, were, "Where's he going? Where's he gone?" So he clearly wasn't expecting Lydia Hansen to end up that side of his goal. In comes the corner. Cashin with the first contact. Mendes Lang now, and he can move. And that's why Andy Moran thought, not on my watch.
It takes one for the team here because they're away. Pace of Mendes Lang, the counter-attack is on, the short defensive numbers, because everyone's up for the set piece. You know exactly what you're doing here. It's cynical, but it's necessary for the team to maintain that 1-1 scoreline.
On to 4 yellows for the season, 1 away from a ban. But that's one of the more sensible yellow cards you'll see, if you can label a yellow card in such a way, because Mendes Lang is one of those who takes some catching. Very different atmosphere around the ground here now. Noise coming from a different part of the ground.
Ready for the thoughts of Narcis Palak. Again, he's trying to instill some change in the club, but you can't legislate for individual errors, as we saw there with Gibson and the goalkeeper. You can work on team formation, personnel, style of play, but you make errors like that, they're going to prove so costly.
I mentioned earlier, Ben Gibson worked with Narcis Palak at Carrow Road. And the now Stoke City manager was a coach for Norwich City. The question is, how do the two sets of players react to that Derby County equaliser? Chamadou keeps it the right side of the line, it would seem. Phillips to Berger. Chamadou looking for Kumas, but only picking out Adams, who takes it on, and it's back with Cashin now. Cashin. Derby County fans elated at the fact that their side is level. I almost sense, Andy, that the Stoke City supporters around the ground are just a bit stunned with what they've seen more than anything.
As I say, it's devastating. It's, you can't legislate for these individual errors, what it does to a coach, to a team, to a crowd. It's just so unexpected and avoidable.
And it's 1 win from 8 games in charge for Narcis Palak. And of course, he was sitting there on the touchline thinking, well, we're 20 minutes or so away from a victory here, which changes the mood, changes the feeling.
That's why we always say 1-0 is a dangerous scoreline, but Stoke were 1-0 up, fairly comfortable. There was a threat from Derby with a change in formation and personnel, but Stoke looked pretty comfortable. But you make an error like that, it goes back to 1-1. It's game on, and then suddenly you're trying to force the issue to win the game now, rather than just protect the 1-0 scoreline.
Jackson. Mendes-Lang for Jackson again. Mendes-Lang once more. Hoists it high. And Ibu Adams took it off the head of Deshaun Brown, really.
There's too many Derby players there, getting each other's way. I'm not sure Adams is the player that should have headed this. It's a really good cross from Mendes-Lang. Thought he might take a touch, but he delivers it first time. I think Deshaun Brown is in a better position there to maybe nod that back across goal.
Moran. Callan makes a move for him. Moran takes it on. Tried to thread it through where it was particularly congested.
Oh, Derby are back in the game. I just wonder whether they should really have been down to 10 men. He's picked up a first booking for this, catching Bae Jun-ho, and then there's a challenge later on as well where he comes flying in, doesn't get the ball, takes the man. Bae Jun-ho again, and I'm thinking, how on earth does he escape without getting a yellow for that? 2 yellows should really be off.
It will be a hot topic come full time, depending on what the scoreline is, of course, but there'll still be an opinion on it, I'm sure, from Narcis Pelak. Paul Warne just wondering if his side can kick on from here and grab their first 3 points away from home this season. Goes to Johansson, who moves it on to Gibson. Fired at Stevens. And he juggles neatly away from Jackson. Adams, though, with an all-important toe-in, and then Stevens went in late.
Yeah, he goes chasing a ball that he's never going to reach. It's a dangerous challenge, it really is. It's reckless, which makes it yellow. If he got in with any more force, he could have had a major problem, could have been a red card, but it's because he's a couple of good touches, but once that ball skips away from him, how many players do this, go chasing after it, trying to redeem themselves? There's the heavy touch, and the fact it's low, it is a foul, nothing more, it's a yellow card, nothing more. Any higher, could have a major problem.
So, Derby County are making the final change here. James Collins will replace Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. It's James Collins' 550th English League appearance. A landmark for the 33-year-old, and would be special for him if he can pop up with something for Paul Warne's side here. Cashing after it, Chamadou underneath it. Adams had it and lost it, and that could be a problem for Derby County. Manhoef charging on, brought down by Adams, and it's a yellow card.
Yeah, but he has help in Ben Osborne. Maybe that's what saved him here, because he does seem to take his man out in Manhoef. He knows he's got to maybe take one for the team here. His poor touch puts his team in trouble. He just nudges Manhoef in the back. I think he knows exactly what he's doing here. You see, you've got Ben Osborne there round on the cover, so they've got an extra defender there. If he's not there, Osborne, it's fair to say that would be red.
He feared the worst and was relieved to see that the colour matched his shirt and not his opponent.
This game is really swinging from end to end. It's just the errors really that are creating opportunities for each team.
Berger just acting as cheerleader to try and get more noise from the locals here.
It's a perfect position for a free kick taker, though. The distance away from goal is right. It's centre, so you can go right or left. The keeper has a real problem about where he puts his wall and where he stands.
The left peg of Manhoef or the right boot of Cannon. The wall in the way after the shot from Manhoef. And now Brown, no, the whistle's gone.
Such a poor free kicker. A player of Manhoef's quality, you've got to be bypassing the wall, be able to whip it over that wall. Yes, it's a sizable wall, but that's halfway up the wall. It's a dreadful free kick, and the break was on, but there was a foul in there.
James Collins, the guilty man. So a few paces back, Stoke City will try again.
I think Tom Cannon might take this one. He said to Manhoef, "You had your opportunity closer to goal. This is about me."
Frantic organisation of those in front of him from Jakob Zetterstrom.
Yeah, the distance from goal means you should be able to get it up and down fairly comfortably, but can you get the accuracy, the power to beat the keeper?
Cannon, and it was the Cannon into the wall. He took it well. Back in from Stoke City and seen off by Nat Phillips. Page and Ho with the corner. Everybody back for Derby County. Oh, and it goes! Well, Derby County question whether there's a foul in the mix. Those in red and white do not care. That might well be the winner for Stoke City.
Well, it's Nat Phillips who's gone across to the referee to say I was nudged in the back at the near post. That creates the space for the header to come in for Stoke. It was a flat whip ball in. It wasn't a great ball in. It was too low. Should have been dealt with. It's Phillips foul. I think he is actually nudged out of the way by Chamadou. That's what Derby is saying, and they've got a case. You see there, Phillips is nudged in the back. He's presumably going to play the ball until that contact is made. He does exaggerate it, but he's certainly got a case. And Derby, I can understand why they're unhappy about the goal standing.
And suddenly all is forgiven for Ben Gibson, who gets his first Stoke City goal, and that might well banish the moment that mattered at the other end just a few minutes ago. Derby County trying to recover, but Johansson holds on. Oh, Derby County were convinced they should have had a free kick there.
Well, Gibson does the right thing. He just concentrates on getting his head on the ball, using the pace that's on the ball to head it goalwards. But you can see there, Chamadou clearly plays Nat Phillips at the near post. He's not playing the ball, he's playing the man.
Stoke City looking for a third, looking to close it out. Zetterstrom was always wondering where that was going to drop.
Yeah, that could have gone anywhere, and Derby now are hanging on. They've gone 2-1 down. They're not happy. They go 3-1 down. It's game over. They had the ball, gave it away cheaply, caused themselves real problems just about escaping.
Josh Smith just checking that the ball is within or hanging over the quadrants. for the corner to be taken properly. Into the mix it goes again. No one really took charge from Derby County's point of view. Away by Brown. Manhoef settles with going backwards to Stevens, and he looks to Johansson. Phillips underneath this one. Battling with Elder. Manhoef's with the throw. Cannon. So Manhoef once again. Derby County ball. Can we tidy that goal up a little bit more? Let's have a look at it.
I just wonder, is there maybe some contact on Chamadou from Osborne? I think he gets away from Osborne. There's maybe a nudge. Maybe you can see that Chamadou does collide with Nat Phillips. He runs into him. He's not looking to flick the ball on. He's just colliding with the defender. But you've got to make the most of the bit of luck that you get, and Gibson and Stoke do that.
Certainly the focal point of the celebration. Junior Chamadou. And Gibson delighted to see it whiz past Jakob Zetterstrom. Means we won't get a 1-1, which is usually the Derby County way at the moment. We will now spend the next 5 minutes plus added time chasing the scoreline of 2-2. Chamadou striding away from the challenges. Jackson's ball now though. Chamadou out of position. Osborne for Elder. Walter just swipes it away.
Chamadou does the right thing in terms of running the ball away, but he just overruns it once he loses it. It's a big hole there that Derby are looking to exploit in that right back spot that he's vacated.
Something to sort out here for Josh Smith. Lofted high for Nelson. And that's a free kick. Foul by Phillips. So a change from a Stoke City point of view to help preserve the points. Eric Booker, who started against Southampton in midweek, replacing Beijing Ho.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Booker plays. Is he going to play as a left-hand sided midfielder? Is he going to play as a wing-back? Ender Stevens could slip in field and play as an extra centre-half, so they shape up. Looks as if they're going to keep the back four just with Booker ahead of Stevens.
By Nat Phillips. Stevens with the header. Chamadou back to Johansson. Goodmine, Adams and Jackson chasing. Brown taking it on. Sat up for him as well. Goodmine. Always fizzing up and over.
He's wildly optimistic. It's a bouncing ball. Connection's got to be so true. If you're leaning back and you go for the power that he does here. There's only one place he's going to end up, and that's way, way over the crossbar.
Well, he's generally been pleased with the way Derby County's season has panned out in many respects, but clearly the away form is something that will be a concern. Derby County just picking up 2 points on the road, with a game on their travels at Coventry City in midweek next on the horizon. This was seen as an opportunity perhaps to improve their points tally on the road.
Yeah, no coach likes conceding goals when you can see from a penalty, a goalkeeping error, and from a set piece. He'll be so disappointed if the game finishes 2-1.
Osborne, trapped all the way by Moran. We are going to play a minimum of 4 added minutes. Goodmine had it and then lost it. Phillips. It's going to race away from Osborne. As the time ticks away for Derby County.
You know, the clock running down, every pass has to be right. We're going to get that equaliser.
Stoke City to another change. William Manhoef replaced by Andre Vidigal, last season's top scorer. A bit to slow down the game and maybe just give Derby County something to think about on the breakaway.
So it's the easy thing to do would be to send on an extra defender. That can encourage a team on you if you sit on the edge of your box. So sending on an attacking player, you get the ball to Vidigal on the halfway line and beyond. Just defend from the halfway line rather than on the edge of your own box.
Up and away from Stevens. Pressure relieved after the challenge on Eric Bokar.
Yeah, a painful one for Bokar, but he'll take that. Palak will take that at this point, a free kick. Keep it to added time.
Berger's ball forward towards Cannon. Might drop to Vidigal. Elder taking what we've already seen can be a risky aerial route back to a goalkeeper. Now he's going in the other direction and he's brought down.
It's brilliant work though from Tom Cannon. It might be a foul, but he sprints back to help his team out to stop Elder playing the ball into the front men. Really hard work, good work from the striker.
Goodmine. Back to Phillips. Time of the essence here for those who've travelled. Cash it towards Jackson. Adams surrounded. Good mind. Kumash right there with him. Needs Adams for assistance. Up and over. And just about away from Johansson's point of view via a deflection.
Well, how many times you see crosses like that just drift over the goalkeeper's head, but it took a touch on the way.
Derby County are loading the penalty area here, including Zetterström forward for the last chance, surely. Is there a late twist here? No, there's the answer. And there's the whistle. Potter's relief at the final whistle, which confirms 3 massive points for Narcis Pelak and Stoke City. Derby County's championship travel sickness continues in a game containing a fair few talking points. Should Nat Phillips have stayed on the pitch will be one. Was he fouled for the winner? That'll be another. Opinion will no doubt follow suit on both of those. But it's a much-needed second win in charge for the Stoke boss, thanks to a game which has given us plenty to discuss and a fair bit to enjoy. Final score, Stoke City 2, Derby County 1.